It was a warm June night in 1947 when the door to a quiet Beverly Hills home became the entrance to history. Bugsy Siegel sat on a couch, casually reading a newspaper, believing, like he always had, that he was untouchable. Seconds later, bullets tore through the window. Glass exploded. The man who built Las Vegas died without ever seeing who pulled the trigger. Before we go any further, if you enjoy true gangster stories, untold history, and the rise and fall of criminal empires, make sure you subscribe to my channel right now. You don't want to miss what happens next. This was not just the murder of a gangster. This was the execution of a dreamer, a visionary, and one of the most dangerous men America had ever produced. This was the end of Bugsy Siegel. Benjamin Bugsy Siegel was born on February 28, 1906, in Brooklyn, New York, to poor Jewish immigrants from Austria-Hungary. The neighborhood he grew up in was brutal, overcrowded tenements, violence in the streets, and survival as a daily battle. For young Ben Siegel, crime wasn't a choice. It was an environment. As a teenager, Siegel learned quickly that fear was currency. He formed a gang that specialized in intimidation, extortion, and protection rackets. His temper was legendary, and so was his violence. It was said that Siegel could go from charming to murderous in seconds. This volatility earned him the nickname Bugsy, short for Bugs, meaning crazy. He hated the name, but the reputation stuck. By his late teens, Siegel crossed paths with a young, sharp-minded criminal named Meyer Lansky. Where Siegel was explosive, Lansky was calculating. Together, they formed a partnership that would change American organized crime forever. Their gang became known as the Bugs and Meyer Mob, one of the most feared Jewish criminal organizations in New York. During Prohibition, opportunity exploded. Alcohol was illegal, but demand was endless. Siegel and Lansky moved into bootlegging with ruthless efficiency. They smuggled liquor, hijacked rival shipments, and murdered competitors without hesitation. Violence wasn't a last resort, it was policy. But Siegel wasn't just muscle. He was ambitious. He saw organized crime not as street-level chaos, but as a structured business. This vision aligned him with rising Italian mobsters like Lucky Luciano, Frank Costello, and Vito Genovese. Ethnicity didn't matter to Siegel, power did. Together, they helped dismantle the old Mafia system and replace it with something modern, the National Crime Syndicate. It was business before blood, profits before pride. And Bugsy Siegel was one of its most dangerous enforcers. Siegel earned a reputation as a man who could not be reasoned with once crossed. Stories spread of him beating men senseless for minor slights, executing rivals without warning, and even threatening allies when he suspected betrayal. Yet, despite his violence, people were drawn to him. He was handsome, charismatic, and loved the spotlight. Hollywood noticed. In the 1930s, Siegel moved to California, officially to expand syndicate interests. Unofficially, he fell in love with the glamour of Los Angeles. Movie stars, producers, politicians, Siegel wanted to sit among them. And he did. He became close friends with celebrities, dated actresses, and attended elite parties. To the public, he was a wealthy businessman. Behind the scenes, he controlled gambling, drugs, and extortion across the West Coast. Los Angeles was his kingdom. But Siegel wasn't satisfied. He saw potential in a dusty desert town that most people laughed at, Las Vegas. At the time, Las Vegas was nothing more than a pit stop, cheap gambling, broken-down hotels, and transient visitors. But Siegel saw what others didn't. He envisioned luxury, elegance, and entertainment. He wanted to turn Vegas into a destination. The Flamingo Hotel was his dream. Backed by syndicate money, mostly from East Coast bosses like Lansky, Siegel began construction. But almost immediately, things went wrong. Costs skyrocketed. Materials vanished. Delays piled up. The original budget exploded far beyond expectations. The syndicate grew suspicious. Millions were disappearing, and Siegel had no clear explanations. Whispers began, Bugsy was skimming money. Bugsy had lost control. Bugsy had gone mad. Despite the chaos, Siegel pushed forward. The Flamingo opened in December 1946, and it was a disaster. Construction wasn't finished. Guests complained. Rain leaked through the roof. The casino lost money every day. For the syndicate, this wasn't just failure. It was betrayal. Bugsy Siegel had always lived by fear. Now fear was coming for him. Lansky tried to protect his old friend. He argued that Las Vegas was a long-term investment, that profits would come. But patience was running out. In the underworld, losing money is forgivable. Losing respect is not. Siegel sensed it. He became paranoid, erratic, and increasingly violent. He carried guns constantly. He lashed out at friends. He trusted no one. On June 20, 1947, the decision was made. A hitman, never officially identified, waited outside Siegel's girlfriend Virginia Hill's home. When Siegel sat down that evening, bullets fired through the window. One struck him directly in the head. He died instantly. Within minutes, the Flamingo was seized by the syndicate. Within weeks, it began turning a profit. Bugsy Siegel never lived to see what he created succeed. But his legacy? Las Vegas. Every neon light, every luxury casino, every empire built on the Strip traces back to one violent dreamer who saw the future before anyone else. Bugsy Siegel was not a hero. He was not a victim. He was a gangster. And he changed America forever.